Greetings folks, this is the very large and impressive Beluga from AtomRC, also called the White Whale I think. This is a twin motor, conventional tail, large battery capacity FPV model. This is the return to home model, so it has the F405 NAVI Deluxe flight control board in it, which we'll have a more detailed look at in another video. It is partially set up, but of course you still need to do your own final setup of the board. Features of the Beluga. We have navigation lights under the wings, and we also have landing gear with a steerable nose wheel, and they are all spring damped. So they're sort of like shock absorbers, which is very impressive. The landing gear is an optional extra. If you don't use the landing gear, they provide covers for covering all of those little slots there. Landing gear would mean it's more designed for a proper flying field with a good landing strip, unlike my area here, so I will probably eventually pull the landing gear off to make it a belly lander for my rough fields. We also have flaps and a split elevator with 2 servos. The canopy bubble is high enough so that you could fit an FPV gimbal in there. Very nice idea. We have a video transmitter mounting point up there with a camera mounting point up on the tail and a camera mounting point in the nose. The nose is magnet held on, or that is not secure enough to hold it. It keeps falling off, so I would glue that or tape it as well. We have wing fences on the wings. We also have printed vortex generators on the leading edge, and these odd little wing wing knobs here, which will probably get ripped off pretty quickly in my rough grass, but they look good anyway. So very impressive size. 1270mm wingspan, 1100mm length, designed to fly on 6S lithium ion, I think like a 21700 block I suppose. I don't have any 6S, I can try it on 4S, and that almost balances okay with a 4S 3300 up in the nose there, plus a camera maybe, so I will be able to fly it like that, or I can try 2 3S's. Flying weight will be about 1800 to 2000 grams. So it's not a lightweight, but there's a lot of wing area. The wing root is 12 inches or 30 centimeters down to 15 centimeters at the tips. It has a total of 7 9-gram Metal Gear servos. Twin motors, they are 2807 1300 kV motors with 7040 props. Flight control board is underneath here, and that's the NAVI Deluxe board. As I said, I'll go through that in a lot more detail. Comes with a BE 2200 GPS as well, and in the manual they say it's a medium to slow flying FPV multifunction fixed wing plane, conventional tail with cruising current around 5 amps on 6S, I guess, so that's pretty efficient. That sounds good. Very easy assembly. It all just bolts together and plugs in. It has sort of soft connection. They're calling them soft connectors between the wings and the tail and the elevator. It's like an electrical connector that you plug your wires into. That's set into the wing root and things like that. Really nice cable management. Lots of slots to put your cables into, including in the battery bay as well for the landing gear and the steering servo. Flight control board comes on with iNav 7.1.1, and I've updated mine to 7.1.2, made a few little changes, which as I said, I'll talk about them in another video. Here's the box it came in. It packs down pretty well, so it's not a long box at all. It's pretty deep, I suppose. Pretty well protected with EPP. It is made of EPP itself, so it's pretty tough. Here are all the bits and pieces. The 2 wing sets. I had at this stage already put in the landing gear. That doesn't come installed. It takes a little bit of fiddling to get that in nice and neatly. and you get all the wiring. You get 4 props and nuts and bolts and covers for when you're not using the landing gear. You can see slotting the tail in. You just have to run the wire through into the connector, and you bolt into there through one of these little brackets each side of the elevator. The elevator servos are just on a Y lead, so they're just acting as one elevator. And the little hex bolts that go in here to retain the wing. There's 2 spars going through, one major spar and a minor spar as well. So it's all very well designed, nicely thought out, especially all this sort of cable slots makes it look very neat indeed. These are the soft wing connectors, they call them. To connect the gear activator, I had to unscrew this panel and plug into these 3 pins here. The other ones, the ESC, flaps and ailerons were already plugged in. There's the plug going through to the ESC, and this is the multi-connector that is already connected to the board. And I had to, this is the wing again, I had to lift off this plastic cover to run the landing gear wire through to the connector there. Here's the nose wheel with the fancy linkage so that it can fold down but still be connected to the bushrod for the steering servo. I've set it up so that this steering servo is only activated when the gear is down, so it's not actually, because it's linked to the rudder input, rudder stick, so it's not activated when it's the wheel is tucked away in it. Here's the F405 NAVI Deluxe. That's a new board from AtomRC. There is a target on iNav, so been around for long enough for them to be included. Analog video transmitter and camera there. That's the little USB board and buzzer, and there is GPS connection over there. HD FPV over here. All the pins here. We've got S-bus on the start there, and then you've got the 2 motors, motor 1 and motor 2. They're only using 1 motor connection, so it's connected via a Y lead. Then we've got elevator, aileron, rudder, and I've connected in the flaps and the gear and the steering servo as well. GPS. Connectors coming through the wing. You can see the retaining brackets there that the wing bolts go into. This is the connection between the tail and the fuselage, and that is the rudder and 2 sides of the elevator that plug in there. There's an extra set of pins here that aren't connected to anything, so you can solder on your own UART if you wanted to have a HD camera and video transmitter down on the tail. That's where you could connect through, and this is the sort of the multi-connector that goes to the board. The flaps were initially set up just like ailerons with equal travel up and down, so I just did my usual trick of clipping off the Z bend and making a new Z bend, and that shortens the push rod by 10 millimeters, and that means that the flap goes all the way down, and when the servo is all the way back, the flaps are level. So this is from the underneath. From the factory, the aileron and elevator throws were way too big because they had the push rods on an outer hole, so I've moved them in 2 holes just to reduce the amount of throws. I tend to set my planes up so that they fly properly in manual mode. Still has lots of throws for manual mode. And then all the iNav stuff will work properly after that, as long as you have it set up properly in manual mode. So out here just for a bit of taxiing practice. This field isn't big enough for me to fly in, so I'm just going to have a bit of a taxi around, see how it looks. It's going to be pretty bouncy, but that would take off on this grass. It's looking pretty cool. To fly, I'm going to go out to my normal field and change it into a belly lander. I may even take the landing gear out just to make it a bit lighter, make it a bit easier to hand launch. So that's pretty cool. Very good. Lawnmower man might be coming out here, so I better head off, but that's going to be good. Okay, taxi test done. Alright, time to fly with the AtomRC Beluga. I have converted it to a belly lander. I didn't need the landing gear. I'm never going to be able to use it in this field, so I thought it'd be more practical for my purposes. Makes it about 180 grams lighter too, for hand launching. I have FPV camera up here on the canopy, just for a good view over the nose and the propellers. But this is just a preliminary shakedown flight. Let's do a line of sight, see how we go. So my flying weight is about 1680 grams, I think, which is very nice for this size model. I'm on 4S 3300. I think it's recommended for 6S, but don't have a 6S, but we'll try with this anyway. Okay, let's go. Very easy takeoff. Flying straight and level straight into the wind. Let's turn him around. Nice slow and steady flight in acro at the moment. Sounds beautiful and looking good. About half throttle, so that's excellent. Very nice. Try some flaps. Flaps 2, and I know it's just taking care of the ballooning. You don't have to worry about that too much. Try a flyby with flaps. Nice slow fly. That's cool. Flaps up. Yeah, it's quite slow and docile. I'm not pushing it because I don't have the current draw yet, but so far so good. Let's try the FPV. So it's going to land fast. Might try landing back the other way. I'm a bit worried about those wing knobs. They might not stay intact. I don't want to put the flaps down because they might get ripped off. Oh, that's... Yes, I think we lost one of the wing tips. Well, there you go. Knew that would happen. Doesn't like this grass. Foot up, foot down. Alright. Try a bit of FPV. So, current draw is under 10 amps, about 10 amps. Keep it there to get a bit of height. We're going pretty slow.
Return to home.
Cruise. That's looking pretty good. Good view out over the cockpit. You could easily do a pan, of course. This is looking great. So very smooth. There's a decent wind there. It's picking up 13 knots at the moment. But it's just flying very smoothly. On about 7 amps. I'm keeping the speed up because I'm on 4S. This is looking good. Acro, I should try manual mode. So this is manual. We're going pretty well. So I'm glad I toned down descending a little bit. See how angle mode is. Descending. So we need a bit of board pitch trim, I think, which wasn't in the original, and I didn't add my own. It should auto trim the servos to keep me nice and level, but I will need to add some board pitch trim, I think. So this is feeling very nice. Good view. Would love to pan side to side. I don't have the canopy on. This is just sitting out in the open. Angle mode. Very nice indeed. Stick with acro, shall we? I really want to get a view from the tail. I'd like to set up my HD FPV sitting up on the tail, which I will do eventually. In the next video I'll show the iNav setup and what I've done. I still have a little bit more setting up to do, I think. Oh, this is just going beautifully. Flying around on 5 amps, it seems. That's pretty good, pretty efficient. Be good for, it would carry lots of battery weight easily. Smooth and steady. You could ramp up the speed if you wanted to. If I had a big 6S battery I might try that, but I don't think I will today. Yeah, so this is very nice. I like it. The knobs on the end of the wings just don't suit my area. I'm going to have to cut them off. They look interesting but don't really serve any purpose. They're just going to hook the grass. Very good indeed. So with the landing gear, it would be great for a proper flying field with a nice smooth landing strip. Oh, dropped a wing there, I think. We've got a bit slow with the wind behind us. Something to be aware of. But anyway, I'll bring it in. I'll put a camera on the tail, I think. That's what I really want to see. But it's beautifully slow and smooth. It's a better landing. Oh, we lost the other knob. There you go. A decision made. It has removed them for me. Alright, time for some line of sight flying with camera on the tail. Oh, it's made it a bit tail heavy, but we'll sort that out. Should have thought of that, shouldn't I? We'll keep flying fast and we'll be right. Beautiful flying plane. It's quiet, smooth and steady, even with this decent wind. We are flying into lift there, so it's a bit of an advantage. Very cool. I think you could use lithium ions quite easily. The current draw is reasonably low. It was fine on 4S, and 6S would be a little bit more nippy, a bit lower current probably. But this is cool. This is a lovely, smooth, quiet and impressive plane from AtomRC. I like it. Lots of different configurations. You can get just the kit for quite cheap, or landing gear, or return to home with the flight control board. Perfectly set up for different sorts of FPV setups. Yeah, I like it a lot. I don't know about those knobs on the front of the wings. They didn't last long in my flying field, and yeah, the landing gear was no good here. But fun if you can use landing gear in your flying area. Nice and efficient, smooth, and yeah, good plane. I like it. There's quite a bit of wind there, so it's doing very well. Alright, I better bring it into land. It's going to be interesting. Upwind or downwind. Try into the wind this time. Trouble is I've got to go downhill to land it into the wind. Cut the motor there and glide. Oh, I'm going to do well. Oh, nice. Going to plant it right near me. That'll do. Very good. Excellent. Yeah, good plane. So there's the Beluga from AtomRC. It is a good plane. I like it. Forget about the wing knobs. Get rid of them. Nice big wing chord means that it can fly slow and smooth. Nice efficient twin motors. Low current draw. Big battery capacity. I put the FPV camera here, which is right above where the GPS was, but all I did was swap the GPS into this little section here, so just moved it out over to there. That's fine. And yeah, it's crying out for a panning or a gimbal in the canopy bit there. And in the next video I'll do the iNav setup and show you any mods that I do or any considerations. I did reduce the throws of all the control surfaces because they were way too high, and it seems about right to me now, moving the push rods in a couple of holes on the servo arms. Alright, that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Oh, don't forget to read the description. A lot of your questions will be answered by reading the description. I'll put things like all the specs and the flying weight and things like that and the gear that I've used in the description. Don't forget to read it. See you later.